In a quiet Arizona suburb, one man woke up to find his backyard hijacked by strangers, and at the center of it all, a woman who claimed to rule the neighborhood. But this wasn't just a pool party gone wrong. What unfolded next exposed lies, abuse of power, and a battle for justice that would change the community forever. This is the story of how one resident fought back and took down a fraudulent HOA empire from within. Miles Garrett was no stranger to peace. As a 43-year-old software consultant living in suburban Arizona, he cherished quiet mornings with a cup of coffee in hand, his laptop resting on the kitchen counter, and the occasional nap in the hammock in his backyard. It was a simple life, but it worked. That is, until one morning, when the sound of splashing water and thumping party music shattered the calm. Still groggy from sleep, Miles blinked as he peered through the bedroom window. He rubbed his eyes, convinced it was a hallucination. But as his vision cleared, he saw the unthinkable. A full-blown pool party was happening in his backyard. There were children diving into his pool, adults lounging with beers on his patio furniture, and standing in the middle of it all, cocktail in hand and oversized sunglasses perched on her nose, was Monica Lang, the self-appointed HOA president. His first instinct was confusion, followed quickly by disbelief. Monica, who had once left a warning on his door about planting non-regulation sunflowers, had crossed a line he hadn't even realized could be crossed. This wasn't just a simple violation of the HOA's supposed rules. This was an invasion. Miles grabbed a t-shirt and stormed out into his backyard, only to find the situation more absurd than he could have imagined. Monica, laughing with her guests, waved him off when he approached. "What's going on here?" Miles demanded, his voice shaking with anger. "Oh, just enjoying the pool. It's a community space, after all," Monica replied with a smirk, as if this was a perfectly normal situation. The HOA's Shared Amenities Clause says, "Your unused pool serves the greater community." Miles stared at her, dumbfounded. "I'm sorry. Did you just say this is my pool and you're using it for a party?" Monica shrugged, unconcerned. "Well, you haven't been using it, have you?" "It's fine. The HOA takes care of everything." "Get out of my backyard, Monica, before I call the police," she laughed. "I am the HOA." The statement hit harder than he expected. It wasn't just a declaration of ownership, it was a warning. He wasn't fighting her. He was fighting an institution that had seeped into every aspect of his neighborhood life. But Miles wasn't about to back down. He wasn't going to let her take everything from him without a fight. As Monica and her guests continued their revelry, Miles retreated into his home, his mind racing with ideas. His initial plan was to call the authorities, but that would only escalate things. He needed to be smarter than that. He needed to hit her where it would hurt the most. That night, while Monica was hosting her second round of guests, Miles took action. He'd ordered chlorine-reactive neon green dye, something he knew would turn his pristine pool into a toxic-looking sludge. Miles waited until the party was in full swing, then slipped out into his backyard, careful to remain unseen. He released the dye into the pool system, then retreated to watch from his window. It didn't take long for the chaos to unfold. The pool's pristine water quickly turned green, a shocking transformation that sent the partygoers into a frenzy. People screamed, slipped, and scrambled to escape, some even vomiting into the bushes. Monica, who had been relishing in her impromptu victory, lost her cool completely. "What did you do?" she screamed at Miles, her face red with rage. "You poisoned everyone." Miles, calm as ever, simply shook his head. "It's just non-toxic dye, routine HOA maintenance, remember?" Her humiliation was palpable. The party dispersed in panic, leaving Monica to fume in front of her stunned guests. The next morning, as if nothing had happened, Miles received a violation notice from the HOA. The official letter accused him of contaminating the community pool, which, he was told, violated HOA policy. Monica, always playing the game of authority, had sent the letter herself. But Miles wasn't going to take this lying down. The violation notice might have rattled another man, but not Miles. He wasn't the type to get angry without a plan. He responded with calm precision. First, he gathered legal proof that the pool wasn't owned by the HOA. He had the deed, he had the security footage showing trespassers, including Monica, on his property. The HOA board might have thought they could bully him, but now they had a fight on their hands. When the next HOA meeting arrived, Miles was ready, armed with cease and desist documents and his evidence. He stood before the board and exposed Monica for what she truly was, an imposter. She didn't own her house. In fact, she was renting it. Her position as HOA president was not only illegitimate, but fraudulent. The room went dead silent. No one had suspected that Monica wasn't even the rightful owner of her home, let alone the president of the HOA. The crowd gasped in disbelief. But Miles wasn't finished. He presented his evidence, step by step. He revealed the neighborhood complaints, Monica's fines for trivial offenses, her petty tirades over off-brand patio chairs, and loud wind chimes. One by one, neighbors began to speak out, recounting their own grievances. Monica had terrorized them with arbitrary fines, rules, and regulations. The meeting came to an abrupt end when the board voted unanimously to remove Monica from her position. But that wasn't the end of the story. Within a matter of days, Monica's landlord, tired of the drama she'd caused, served her an eviction notice. The community's joy was palpable. Finally, the tyrant had been dethroned. In the weeks that followed, Miles threw a real community pool party, complete with green punch and radioactive lemonade to celebrate the victory. But Monica wasn't done just yet. In a last-ditch effort at petty revenge, she forged a complaint to the city zoning office, alleging that Miles had built an unauthorized outdoor structure. It was a long shot, but she was determined to make him suffer. When the city inspector came, however, he found nothing wrong. In fact, after hearing Miles's side of the story, he laughed. "You're not the first to fight one of these paper tyrants," the inspector said. "You just fought smarter." And so, the battle ended. Not with a bang, but with the quiet satisfaction of justice done. The HOA board was restructured, illegal amendments were repealed, and the neighbors who had long suffered under Monica's rule finally had a voice. Miles, once the quiet guy in the hammock, became a local legend, a symbol of resistance against an unjust system. Monica, well, rumors had it she was trying to run for an HOA seat in her next neighborhood. But Miles had a message for anyone considering giving her a chance. Good luck.